Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Plasma, or XPL, which is the name of the token. Had to do a full update on that. At this point of time, this is by far the best crypto to have invested in. The volume is $3.6 billion, and that's while it's down 47%. So it still has a lot of momentum, and it's also quite normal that the volume started to, ramp down after such a massive launch and going into the weekend when volume is usually lower. But we'll talk about the decreasing volume in a moment. But this is a bit of an emergency update because I think that Plasma at this point of time is one of the best tokens and one of the best cryptos to keep an eye on and to actually potentially trade also on the lower time frames. But we are at a crucial level right here. We've just broken above the 2.618 fib in combination with the previous highs right here at 1.45. And we did that with a bit of a bearish divergence, all right, with the volume. All right, the volume is lower, which is not very strange when it comes to a new coin like Plasma. And when it has a lot of momentum, which we'll talk about the fundamentals of Plasma in a moment, that's also not the end of the world, but that does mean that we need to hold this breakout. All right, if we're unable to hold the breakout, which is like the key level then is 1.4, 1.45. If we break down below that, then all of a sudden all the local top factors or all the local top confirmations added together amount to me expecting a pretty deep pullback. So that's why this is a very crucial level. Now, Plasma in itself, like last week we had Aster. Plasma is potentially even a better project. At this point of time, it's growing rapidly. The TVL on Plasma at this point of time is $3.61 billion. And it went up to that level in a matter of 2 days. All right, Plasma, if you don't know, is also, I believe it's the ICO. The first ICO actually done by what do you call it? The platform by Kobe, right? I mean, I forgot the name, but it's but they did ICOs. Plasma was the first one. Plasma, I think, has to do with stablecoins as well. So obviously that is a massive category, massive narrative. And the stories I've heard from people I respect within the crypto industry have all been very positive about XPL, about Plasma, and about their protocol. And the sentiment at this point of time is also still very positive. So I think like positive sentiment in itself is definitely not a reason to be positive about a coin. Very often people are very bullish and very positive about a coin when it's topping. But I think this is early enough, especially given that the real launch was Thursday. This is early enough to still give it a chance to rally higher. We have just broken above the 2.618 fib. The next price target would be right here between 1.75 and 1.8. That's the next psychological price target. 1.25 was not really respected. $1 neither, but still 1.75 is a psychological level. That's the truth. And in this in this instance, it's also supported by the 3.618 fib. And then afterwards, I mean, potentially we can spike up to $2, but that's the next price target. Can we get there? Yes, but like I said, the most crucial thing to watch today and over the course of the weekend, because I actually do think that the volume over the course of the weekend for XPL remains relatively high. That's at least what we saw last week with Aster. What we need to do is on the higher time frames, or at least on the 1 hour time frame, we need to be able to hold this breakout. All right, so 1.4, 1.45, we need to hold that. If we're able to hold that, and we actually get a new influx of volume and momentum over the course of the US session today, which has been a pretty good session for Plasma. If you go back to Thursday, then we can rally higher into 1.75 and 1.8. And regardless of the bearish divergences we see, when you see such high momentum and such high volume for a real project, aka real value, real strong fundamentals, usually it goes up higher, right? So 1.75, 1.8, maybe I'll place a little bit of a short limit there if I'm feeling risky today, but ultimately I still think it's most likely we're going to rally up higher, with 1.4 being my invalidation, right? So if we do not find strong support there, if we drop down below that, I will set a limit as well. We're going to see a deeper pullback, at least back into 1.2 and 1.15. Those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know for now. So hopefully that helps. But for now, have a great Saturday, have a great weekend, and bye.